Hello, hello. So I'm here with a book haul. This is like a reasonably sized book haul. It's, relatively small. I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16 books here to talk about. Which doesn't like sound that small when I say it out loud, but like we remember the big ones that I've had previously. All right, so let's go. We're starting off. We've got the first volume of Rinne by Rumiko Takahashi. I read the 19th volume of this series and I liked it enough that I want to go back and start it from the beginning. I don't really remember what it's about. I think there's all sorts of like spirit stuff, ghosty stuff. From what I remember, it was kind of funny and it was kind of like there was a big parody, almost parodic intensity to it at times. It is by the same lady who did Inuyasha. This is the art style. It's a little bit of an older series, but I'm excited to start from the beginning. When did this even come out? Let me see. Yeah, it's came out in 2009. That's not bad. That's not actually that old at all. All right, next. So this is an author that is fairly controversial, and I am just curious because it's an extreme horror author. And recently he was one of many. Let's not pretend that there aren't a lot of them that get into these interpersonal conflicts that really bare their souls as people who like aren't super great. But I am always interested. I'm interested to see how he does a school shooting book because I feel like it's not going to be very good. And I feel like that means it feels kind of mean-spirited on my part to read a book kind of expecting it to not be very good. However, the plus side on that whole thing is that if I go into a book and expect it to be terrible and it's like fine, I'm going to be very impressed. So really, it's low expectations that'll do the most for this man. So yeah, that's The Eighth by Matt Shaw. And first of all, this is the dumbest cover I've ever seen in my entire life. Sorry to go in there like that. Right away, it's just not good. I feel like it was. I feel like it's AI. I'm not gonna lie. It kind of looks like AI. The cover kind of looks like AI. Does anybody? Do you have any cover artists credited? I don't know. We'll see how good a writer this guy is. I don't think he is. I'm just flipping through there trying to figure out if there was a cover artist listed. It's not looking promising. It's not looking promising. All right, next I've got a middle grade book, and it's got a Gary D. Schmidt blurb on the front, which means it's probably good, pretty hard hitting. Alan Cole is Not a Coward by Eric Bell. I actually read this, I think when did this come out? That will tell me. When did this come out? This came out in 2017, so I must have read it in college, and I remember vaguely enjoying it, but now I'm trying I try to be a little bit more deliberate when I read my middle grade now because I do teach 5th grade, and a lot of them are in that range where they're reading a lot of middle grade books. But this is, from what I remember, this is about a kid who it's not going well for him. Life, his dad is awful. His older brother is awful. He doesn't really have any friends at school, and his older brother finds out that he has a crush on a boy, and he's like, I got you now. But no, I'm interested to reread this. There is also a sequel that I will probably be picking up at some point. Again, we've got a blurb by Gary D. Schmidt on the front. Gary D. Schmidt, I feel, is just the king of middle grade. So that's promising. All right, next. Oh, I'm continuing on my collection of hardcover Brandon Sanderson's With a Rhythm of War. Now I do have the first 4 books of the Stormlight Archives in hardcover. You might be able to see Oathbreaker back there, way up in the corner. So I have Rhythm of War now as well, and I just reread Words of Radiance, and that's where I stopped the first time. So now I've got the next 2. I do have the 5th one pre-ordered, but no, this is a fantastic fantasy series, and if you don't think it's fantastic and you're younger than like 20, wait a couple years and then try again, because that's what happened to me. I was like 19 and I read the first 2 and I was bored to death, and so then I waited, and now I'm in my mid-20s and now they're wonderful. So there's that. They're hard to explain. They're fantasy, they're epic fantasy. that's it. That's what it is. All right. Loss by Jackie Morse Kessler. This is the third book in the Rise of the Apocalypse series. I read the whole series. I really enjoyed the series, actually. It's kind of like a comfort childhood series for me, but it follows these 4 teens as they all become like riders of the apocalypse. They all become like the 4 horsemen, and this one follows Pestilence, and he is bullied very, very, very intensely. They came out, I believe, 2010. This one came out in 2012. They came out when I was in high school. I really enjoyed them. Yeah, this is book 3. This was always my favorite. And so when I was buying up stuff at the end of June, finishing up my book month, I have the first one. I don't have 2 or 4 anymore, but I just wanted to get one more. I just want this one. So, all right, next I've got a manga, and it's a bind up of the first 3 volumes of Neon Genesis Evangelion by Kara and Yoshiyuki Sadamoto. So this is a classic. It's from, I want to say, the 90s, but this is something that people are very, very into, and I never got into it. Partially because I was never really into sci-fi. And this is like a sci-fi story. We got like mecha stuff, but no, this is very, very famous, very famous. All right, next I've got a book by an author that I recently read a book from and really, really enjoyed. That's Michaela Gray. This is also written with Ariel Bishop. This is Odd Man Rush. This is another one of her hockey romances. I really liked, what was it called? Double Shifting? I think it was Double Shifting. I really liked Double Shifting. I thought the character work was really fun, so I want to pick up more of her books. She doesn't actually have a ton of hockey romances out. She's got a lot of books out, but she doesn't have, not all of them are hockey, and I'm like, we'll see. We'll see. We'll see. We'll see if once I finish these ones, I'll move on to the other ones. All right, my book of the month book, The God of the Woods by Liz Moore. This is, I believe, like a girl goes missing in the woods. It's 1975. And everybody's like, oh, she's missing in the woods. This is the lady who wrote The Unseen World, which I know was very, very popular for a hot minute there back in, what, like 2020 or 2017 or something like that. But no, this looks interesting. I can enjoy something like this, I feel. All right, next I've got a manga series. I have the first 4 volumes, and this is a very controversial manga series. I watched the first episode of the anime, and it's real messed up. It's something. So I got the first 4 volumes, and this is a series. It's hard to, it's like this girl like kidnaps a little girl, like a teenager kidnaps like a child, and there's weird stuff going on. That's Happy Sugar Life. This is volume 1, volume 2, volume 3, and volume 4. I actually bought these because I was like in a bidding war for the entire series on eBay. When my little sister was driving us back from the Goo Goo Dolls concert, and I was like, it went up to like $90, and after that I kind of tapped out, and they won. And so then I just went and I bought the first 4 volumes. So it's not the whole series, but it didn't cost me $90 either. So I do have these. I'm always kind of looking for more fucked up manga. So we'll see if this is a good one. Right, next I have more kind of my foray into my collection of the Wizard of Oz series by L. Frank Baum. This is, I believe, the second book. I believe this is number 2. Again, like, this is better than the other editions I've received. I think once I read these, like, these are not ones that I'm going to be keeping, but it does have the illustrations, which is nice. I remember we had a couple of these when I was growing up, and they were very good. So I got this. I have the second volume in a manga series, is the second volume of Banana Fish. I haven't actually started this series yet, but this is one, like, I'm like 8 episodes in on the anime, and I'm really liking it, and I think it is kind of a classic in a lot of ways, and so I want to pick up volume 2 before my book month was over. This is like takes place in the 80s, and there's like gangs, takes place in America, there's drugs and harsh topics, and the anime is very good. All right, next I've got Dance on My Grave by Aidan Chambers. This is I watched the movie of this recently. It's called Summer 85. It's a French film. This, I believe, is written by a Frenchman. I don't know. I guess I'd have to look that up, but it is about, at least the movie is about this kid who in 1985 falls in with this other guy that is very charismatic, and they get closer and closer and closer and closer, and then the guy dies. And there's a lot going on. But no, the movie was very good. I'm very interested in the book, which is, the movie is very recent. It's very new, it's within the last couple of years. This book is from 1982, so it'll be a fun time. All right. Last up, I have The Diablo's Curse by Gabe Cole Novoa, which is, the author wrote Beyond the Red, which I read when I was in like early college, high school, and I didn't really like it. I thought it was kind of bad, but hopefully he's grown as an author. So there's that. That is my book haul. Can I lift it up? 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 Oh, I sure can. Look at that. That's my book haul. That's all. Actually, I'll talk to you later. Goodbye.